we finally have a good weather day today. We have had a few days of freezing weather here, and then we actually had some snow. So now that that's over, Wendell wants the transmission for the Chevette. So we're going to get that over to him. John is in the house working right now still. He's about to come out. So I got Houdini out here to supervise. Me and him are gonna take the transmission off of the motor. And then hopefully by the time we get that done, John will be off and we can make the drive and go drop this off at Wendell's house. So maybe I can figure out how to time lapse this, and we'll see.
All right, so
Here we are again.
Chevette is still
Under construction.
Yep. But we got some pretty exciting stuff coming today.
We do.
There's going to be a little bit of back and forth on some of the timeline on this video because we filmed some of it and we were still working on some things, and yeah, now we're halfway through the process. So we already knew we wanted to put a 4L60E in this car.
Yes.
For the drag and drive stuff. We haven't really been quiet about that, even though there's a bunch of 4L60 haters out there.
There's plenty of those.
This car
is proven that
you can do whatever you want to do with a 4L60E.
And it's going to live.
And there's a couple people to thank for that. Those people. And then Mr. Wendell's.
For sure.
So Wendell built the transmission in this Camaro, and it has a bunch of Sonnax parts in it. He built it in 2015, I think. We ran all the iTray stock eliminator stuff with it, and we've done 2 race weeks with it, pulling a trailer through the mountains both times.
Yes.
Ton of bracket racing, a lot of street driving.
And it's been absolutely perfect.
Perfect. We went through the mountains with this car,
yeah,
with the trailer behind it. If you go back to Rocky Mountain Race Week 2 years ago, you can see all of our videos from that. We went through Estes Park, Colorado, and there was people pulling trailers and stuff, and they were like boiling fluid out of the transmissions left and right, kept having to pull over, and
just zoomed on past them up the mountain.
no problems. Straight on through.
We stopped to sightsee. We didn't stop because of the car.
But 150, 60 foots for the last, was it 8 years? And it just keeps going. So when we were at PRI, I stopped and was looking at some Sonnax stuff.
Yeah.
Wendell was there. We kind of all got to talking about the Chevette project, and then we started talking about the Camaro and the history with the Camaro, and they started talking to us about our future plans. Sonnax is jumping on board and is going to be part of our program. That was part of the reason we went to PRI, was to talk to some people about what we were doing, because there's not a whole lot of people really doing what we're doing with a 4L60.
No.
Most of the time that 4L60 gets chunked and people go to a 4L80 or they go to a gear vendor or whatever it is, and we're not those people.
No.
So
we like to do things the
unconventional.
Yeah, we're unconventional, I guess you can say.
So big deal for us. Today we have got a box of stuff from Sonnax.
A big box of stuff.
Yeah, we talked to them at PRI, and then I've been in contact with them quite a bit since we got back. They are going to use Old Faithful here for some of their marketing stuff, so that's pretty cool. And we told them what we're doing. They said, yeah, we'd like to help.
Yep. We
think you need this stuff. So we got a box of stuff we're going to take over to Wendell tonight. We'll unbox, kind of show everything that we're putting in it. Just kind of demonstrate what some of that stuff is.
Hopefully he can kind of explain it, because we don't.
Yeah.
We're not transmission people, so.
Yeah, there was a bunch of shiny stuff on a table that was pretty.
It sure was pretty.
Yeah. So we're going to pack up our stuff here. We're going to head to Wendell's real quick and unbox everything, kind of show you what we're putting in this thing, what Sonnax has to offer, and let you know how to build a killer 4L60E.
Yep. That'll hold up forever. Through the mountains.
And ever. I don't even know when the last time y'all saw this thing, but
it's in sad shape right now. Oh.
We got factory GM service manuals that we're using for wiring. So
luckily old Pete Pop was a pack rat and found those in his auto repair shop.
Yep.
They're legit ones that he used back in the day.
Yep. So
coming in handy.
All right.
Well, I guess we'll see you at Wendell's.
Off to Wendell's.
All right.
Well, we're here with Wendell. So, laid out before you are all the parts you need to build a killer 4L60E.
I like that tagline. That's a good tagline.
Okay, so you're the man when it comes to transmission stuff.
That's a, was it a wives' tale? An old wives' tale? Or is it an old wise tale?
Old wives' tale?
Yeah.
Wives' tale?
Haven't you heard that before? Is it an old wise tale or an old wives' tale?
I don't know. We're going to have to Google that.
All right.
All
Next time we talk, I want to know the answer to that.
Well, I'm probably going to forget to look it up. So
I'll text you later.
All right. Would you mind explaining to the people what these things are and what they do?
Whose people are these? Are these
The Chevette people, to most people.
The people with the V6 Chevette.
Yeah.
And it's actually more of they know her with the V6 Chevette. I'm the guy in the back.
Is it a Chevette or is it a Chevette?
Chevette.
Because you're a little shy.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, the Chevette has broken me out of my shell. So.
That's good. Hey,
you can say that.
There's some irony in that.
So.
Kind of like when we were up here the other day, and two guys we'd never met before. You said something about the Chevette. Oh, the one from 1320.
We'd never seen those guys
Kyle
before.
Loftus is a bad dude.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Kyle's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. I was on the streets there in little street in Fort Worth. Jerry Bird got arrested and all that. That's how I got to meet Kyle Loftus. So,
oh boy,
watching Jerry Bird get arrested.
That's exciting.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about Sonnax first.
Okay.
And that's their slogan: how to build a killer 4L60E. Greg Nader, super good guy.
He's awesome.
Yep. We got Beth.
She was awesome too.
Yeah, that's a cool chick.
Yes.
And then there's Krista. Remember Krista?
Yes, it's the same name. So
right.
She's automatically cool.
Oh, that's right. I just don't. Okay. And then there's who else? Who are we leaving out here?
I don't know.
Who's the lady y'all worked with, Lauren?
Yes. So
we better drop Lauren's name on this deal.
Yes, we didn't actually meet her in person, unfortunately.
Well, that's okay. She's good behind the scenes.
But she has been amazing.
Maybe she's camera shy.
Maybe so.
Okay.
Can't blame her.
No, not at all. So great people at Sonnax.
Yes.
And my deal on Sonnax is, I tell them this every time. When you get the parts, it's aircraft quality.
Okay.
This stuff could probably fly in a plane, if you ask me, But to me, there's nobody else in the industry that can build the components to hold up to the tortures of drag racing better than the people at Sonnax.
Well, I agree.
So, so let's talk a little bit about it. So
all right.
You've got the Chevette.
Yes.
The Chevette.
The Chevette.
And it's got a V6 in it?
Yes, 4.3 V6.
Put that NOS on it?
We are putting the nitrous on there.
Okay, yes. All right. I'm old school. It's called NOS, right?
NOS,
I saw it on TV.
Yes, we were putting the nitrous on there.
Okay, good.
So it is going to have that. So our
Yes.
transmission is going to have to live up to the nitrous
So
and the driving on the road.
So about how much horsepower are we going to torture this transmission with?
What do you think it's going to make?
We estimate it probably makes 350 on motor. And the main thing we're going to use the nitrous for is just trying to speed up from probably 1140s, 50s to the 11.0.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we get crazy. We might spray a little more. So
We've got a fogger on it, three foggers on it. What do we got?
3 foggers.
So we're putting a plate on it.
Yeah,
we
just,
actually have an intake that has a fogger on it.
Oh,
we
nice.
do.
So
Okay.
Came with the car.
Okay.
we could put the fogger and the plate on it, but
It might go boom.
stock
Okay.
wheelbase Chevette on a 235.
Okay.
The car could flip
Yeah.
over. You know.
Well-
I know that's the best idea, but I'm not going to say we're going to rule it out. So
Well, I want to make a bold statement.
Go ahead.
This transmission, when you get it back with all these great Sonnax parts in it, it's going to laugh at your little V6.
Oh, I know.
It's going to want you to have more power than that.
Well, we'll give it what I can.
Okay. So it's a good start.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we've done is we've reached out to Greg Nader and Beth Howder.
Yep.
At PRI.
Yes.
What a great time.
It was.
And we put a plan together, and here we are. So
Yes.
do you know, you don't know what any of this is?
This is a drum.
Close.
What is it?
Close. That's the reaction shell.
Okay.
All right. So let's just, what we'll do is we'll just start this way, and we'll just work through and come back this way. How does that sound?
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
the reaction shell, it's also the sun shell is what everybody calls it.
Yep.
Right? That was the
Sun shell.
Tech
Yep.
deal back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. So
Side note,
side
my
note.
Wicked Chick trophy is made out of that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That could be a crown.
Could. I think it's flipped over the other way though.
Well, since we're talking about the react shell, the sun shell, let's just talk about it first.
Okie dokie.
So
So what does this thing do?
the problems with the sun shell, the reaction shell,
Mhm.
is in the past they would crack out.
Okay.
They'd crack out and cause problems, lose gears. So Sonnax has come up with a much improved reinforced area where the cracks usually happen.
Okay.
Comes with a new inner race for your low reverse sprag, and it comes with a cool roller bearing
Okay.
to get rid of the thrust washer, which will help reduce the amount of heat. So pretty cool setup. Again, top of the line stuff. You shouldn't have any problems with breaking these anymore.
Perfect.
So this is a cool piece. So we'll start there.
Okay.
And then let's talk about I feel like Vanna White. The Sonnax HP kit.
Okay.
All right. I just know the part number is HP-4L60E-1. So
That's a pretty off the shelf product that they sell a whole lot of, right? Isn't that a pretty common deal?
it is. I install a lot of these in a lot of the daily drivers even.
Okay.
And it just makes everything much more reliable. For example, like you got your case parts here, you got case parts, pump parts, accumulator parts, valve body parts, and servo parts. So all broken down,
Okay.
easy to follow instructions, and like case parts, billet pistons versus the cast pistons. Some of the 4L60Es had plastic pistons, which is always a problem. So it's got the capsule in it for your 2.3. It comes with a Teflon seal and a rubber seal. So leakage is not a problem. Normally, these would have a hole in them, and they'd go over a pin.
Okay.
You delete the pin, gives it more surface area,
Mhm.
better performance.
Perfect.
So servo parts. So you got your second and your fourth servo.
Okay.
Okay. These are the O-rings and the springs. It comes in the HP kit
Okay.
that go with those.
Perfect.
Okay, and then you got your valve body parts. So you got springs, drill bits. You got another one of those. Oh, what do you call that again? What's that called? Accumulator piston.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, and then you got plastic check balls to get rid of the steel check balls, so you're not beating out the separator plate.
I found that pretty interesting. We talked to them at PRI, and they were talking about the plastic versus the steel check balls.
Yep.
That was a pretty cool conversation and the theory behind that.
Yep. And I change out all the steel check balls
with
and put plastic every time.
Okay.
Like for example, a customer comes in, no second gear. Well, second and fourth is usually the band. Well, they had fourth gear, but they didn't have second gear. I'm like, well, that's weird. Pull the pan, pull the valve body. I was going to check some valving in the valve body. We pull the once we pull the valve body off the separator plate. Guess what? Had one of those steel balls stuck in the separator plate.
Oh.
So there's your problem. So if it had plastic balls in it, it would have never beat the plate to make that steel check ball stick. So little stuff like that these guys have. I mean, you met Brian. He's one of the engineers there.
Oh yeah. Yes, we did.
So that guy just sits around and just dreams up all this stuff. We call him the Magic Man. Remember? I don't know that he liked being called the Magic Man, but I think he's the Magic Man because he pulls this stuff straight. We won't say what we normally say. We'll just say he pulled it out of thin air.
There you go.
We'll keep this G-rated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight out of thin air.
Straight out of thin air.
So they come up with better ways to do things.
Always, I call it a continuous improvement program. They're always striving for a better product.
To be better.
To be better. And in my book, there's nobody out there with, we'll call it brain power, that Sonnax has to come up with a lot of these cool things. Now, there are brand X stuff out there, but in my experience, they just don't perform near as well as the Sonnax stuff.
Well, and kind of too, we talked about it a little bit on the intro part of this video, wherever that ends up here, but a lot of the stuff that's on this table is in my Camaro transmission.
Yep.
And many will say that it has outlived its lifetime by about 10 times. And we're still beating on it. Yeah.
Been through the Rocky Mountains and
it survived a lot.
Yeah.
Lots of burnouts with the trailer on the back.
Nice. Nice. It's survived your dad driving it too, right?
It did. It survived
yes,
my dad in the mountains for a week.
Yeah, if it's anybody like my dad, he's the destructive tester.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a good description.
Yeah.
For him.
You have non-destructive testing and destructive testing, right? So this is a key ingredient, the HP kit, 4L60E-01 HP kit. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Next, probably in my mind, the sexiest piece on this table.
That's the drum.
This is your forward drum.
Okay.
It houses your overrun clutches, your forward clutches, and your 3/4 clutches.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I got an example of a stock one. Okay. So if you look at a stock one, it just has slots here for snap rings. And what happens is when it gets into that 3/4, that snap ring flexes. It never really truly seats like it's supposed to, which allows the 3/4 clutches to slip.
Okay.
I think somebody nicknamed the 4L60E, called it a 4L slippity.
I've heard that before.
Yeah. So this is the slippity part.
Okay.
And this fixes the slippity.
Gotcha.
So again, everything comes with great instructions, easy to follow, covers all the bases. But the cool thing about this is it uses a plate instead of that snap ring.
Okay.
Let's see here, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 bolts. Did I do that right? 5 times? Yeah, 3. Okay, 15. All right. I didn't know I was going to have to do math today.
Math is fundamental.
It is. So it uses these bolts to hold it in place so there's no flex.
Okay.
Okay, so hence making it killer and
Got
killing the slippity.
There you go.
All right. Now, the cool thing about this is Sonnax sells these reinforcement sleeves and updates that you can slide over and help give the aluminum drum more adhesion to the input shaft. Even in stock application, we see where these drums fail, and you get a problem. The input shaft will start sliding in and out.
Oh.
Okay, so they come up with these reinforcement sleeves.
Okay.
Now, most of the time, we only just put this one for this forward piston in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the kit comes with that, but I talked to Mr. Nader, and Mr. Nader said, "Well, why don't you get the other one too?"
Okay.
So this one has 2 reinforcement sleeves that will slide over 2 areas, so you have double the strength of the drum to the input shaft.
Okay.
Okay.
So it should be pretty strong in there.
This should be pretty killer.
Pretty killer.
That's it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They're the only ones known to be making that drum.
I don't know of anybody else that makes this drum. I'll tell you right now, if there's another one, I wouldn't use it. This is the only one I would use.
They showcased that on their Facebook page a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And like I said, we talked about it when we went to PRI. I thought that was probably the coolest thing on the table that I looked at.
It is the difference maker, especially if you're running NOS. When you hit that 3rd gear with the NOS, it holds.
Okay.
So it's going to give you that reliability that you need. This is the key piece. To me, this is the heartbeat of the whole thing. This is where you usually have your problems. Okay. So, cool piece.
Yeah. Pretty neat.
All right. So all of these pieces here come in the kit. It's got a great pressure plate that goes at the bottom for your 3/4s. It's got all the reinforcement to it and everything, so it makes it super strong. All right. So we have the overrun clutch hub.
Okay.
This thing is a beast. This thing is like 3 times thicker than the stock one, and these are known to knock out these little attachment points here.
Okay.
And they end up in your transmission.
Not good?
Not good. So Sonnax came out with this heavy duty overrun clutch hub. Super nice piece. Makes all the difference in the world.
Awesome.
For all that V6 horsepower. Killer. So clutch, this is the hub shaft.
Okay.
This is what houses your low gear setup. Okay. This and then the ring gear that goes with it. What happens here is this is a heavy duty piece. What happens over time is it'll wear these splines out. Mm-hmm. And with this being a hardened piece, it eliminates that extra wear that you're going to have with the extra horsepower.
Okay.
So it also has 2 holes. Has a hole here and a hole here. Normally the holes are in the same spot.
Okay.
But they've drilled them opposite each other, again, to give it added strength. So the 2 holes don't, 2 holes together is weaker than apart.
Then, yeah.
Again, the magic man, Brian, came up with that. Now, and I say that, it might have been Mr. Nader. I might be in trouble with Greg by saying that. So I better say Greg Nader came up with it. Sorry, magic man.
Stealing his thunder.
Stealing his thunder. Billet piston. This thing here, the stock versions are bad about cracking.
Oh, okay.
So, and they're cast aluminum. This is a billet aluminum piece. So, gives it that extra holding power, gives it the strength and stability. And again, it comes with the ring that presses on to the forward drum that squeezes down on the input shaft.
Okay.
So added strength.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. So input shaft goes with the drum. So there's a special keyway that lines everything up. So you make sure, I don't want to say it's idiot proof, but it's pretty idiot proof.
Okay.
to know how this goes in there to make sure all the holes and everything lines up like it's supposed to.
Okay.
So that all the passages line up. So when you put it in first gear, you got first, not reverse and stuff like that.
That's pretty important.
Pretty important. Okay. Sonnax just came out with their 300Ms input shafts.
Yes.
Available today.
Available today?
Yeah, if you need one, call me. I can get you one.
Okay.
Comes in the 298 millimeter, which is the setup that you're going to be running, and it also comes in the 300 millimeter.
Okay.
Okay.
The 298 is the one-piece case, and the two-piece case is the 300. Is that right?
Yeah, it's with the so they have your Gen 1, your Gen 2, and your Gen 3.
Okay.
You're running the Gen 1 version of the 4L60E.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, the one piece case.
Awesome.
The Gen 2 is the one that's non-LS. It has the rounded top here, and then the Gen 3 is the one that's got the hole at the top for the LS.
Is the Gen 2 one piece or is it two piece?
Two piece.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was two different ones there.
Yep. And they actually have them with the different bells for like some of the V6 versions and all that. Okay. So, yep. All right. So another important piece, that input shaft. Takes a lot of abuse, especially if you're going to be running a triple disc. You got to have the hardened input shaft.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So Sonnax is absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, sexy output shaft. This thing is just such a piece of art.
It is very pretty.
It is awesome. Again, 300M, prevent twist on those hard launches, you know, leaving at 6,000, shifting at 8,000 in that V6. You're going to want this. All right, next. Looks like he's got you fixed up with an oversized PR valve for the pump, a new pivot pin, and a new pump bushing. So that's important. Teflon lined pump bushing.
Okay.
Again, helps reduce heat. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, so the sun shell that goes into, or the sun gear that goes into the planetaries.
Okay.
We don't have one here, but this is the wide, extra wide bushing that goes in that. Gives that stability. So it helps make that sun gear run true into the gears.
Okay.
And then these are pretty sexy pieces too. So this is your second gear super hold servo. Okay. Especially when you're needing that nice firm 1-2 shift. This will do it every time.
Okay.
Okay.
And it is pretty.
It is pretty. I mean, if you set this thing up right, it'll jerk the teeth out of your head.
Oh boy.
This thing is super awesome. So you might need to tweak that tune just a little bit. And then what goes with that second gear is the fourth gear super hold. You got the pretty, nice, pretty black with the pretty white Sonnax on there. Not just, they only give this to special people.
Oh, well, I feel
only the special people get these.
That's
normally it's just silver like that. So
that's cool.
So yeah.
It's a privilege.
Yeah, I think it is.
It is.
This is Greg Nader's tried and true 3/4 setup.
Okay.
Got some special coated steels with a high energy clutches.
Awesome.
So this is his tried and true setup, and it works fantastic. And then the second gear and fourth gear band.
Mm-hmm.
This is Sonnax's wide band. Gives you, I'm not for sure the percentage of extra holding power, but it is significantly wider than a stock band.
Awesome.
So a must have. And then last but not least, the stator tube.
Stator tube.
Stator tube. This goes in the back half of the pump.
Okay.
This is what your torque converter rides on.
Okay.
And this is their hardened version of that stator tube.
Awesome.
What we see a lot of times just in stock vehicles, the splines on these get a lot of wear.
Okay.
So you can imagine in a high horsepower application, it's going to take even more of a beating.
Right.
So we needed to make sure we had the Sonnax stator tube. It's kind of cool. Special procedure for pressing these out.
Okay.
You have to heat up the pump body,
mm-hmm.
and then we put this in the freezer, and then heat your friend. cold your friend, you married the two up, it slides right in.
Hmm.
And then we have a weight that sticks on it, holds it in place until everything cools back to ambient. And then got 3 bolts and the staking tool to put it back in. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so this is the recipe for a killer transmission. Now,
4L60E.
killer 4L60E. Now, the one thing we don't have is the valve body. We're going to send the valve body to Sonnax, and they're going to put it on their valve body dyno, go through it, check it, make sure it's all ready to go. We haven't got that back yet, but we'll have that back soon. And then they also use a vacuum plate.
Okay.
Like if you have a vacuum pump that you use like for pulling all the water and stuff out of your air conditioning system, it's the same pump.
Okay.
And then there's a calibration tool that comes with it. And then we check all the check balls. And then we have a plate that goes on the valve body. And then you check all the ports of that to make sure everything is sealed up nice and neat. So it assures those nice firm shifts and no more 4L60E. So between the valve body and the forward drum, there is no more slippity.
That's awesome.
And it's just going to allow you to focus on turning on wind lights.
Well, I hope that's the plan.
It needs to be the plan. We're here. I have this vision of you standing up. He's got the big trophy and you got the big check.
I'm in on that situation.
Okay. Well, I think you have the recipe for success here.
I think so too.
So I appreciate you guys coming out, giving me an opportunity to talk all things Sonnax and showcase what we're going to do. Next steps, I guess I've got a little work ahead of me here.
I think so.
You going to come help with that?
I mean, I don't know a dang thing about transmissions, but I'm willing to learn.
Okay. Well, maybe we get you some gloves and, get you back out here and we'll start throwing this thing together.
That sounds like a plan. I'll come help. I don't, if you were willing to teach me and you have the patience to do it, God bless you.
Well,
and I will come.
I've already talked to John. He's given me the caveats on what to avoid subject-wise. And
probably a lot. Did you write a book on that?
Well, it's a long text. It's
what to avoid.
I mean, it's just you know when you go to the text and it says click here to read more.
Did you have to keep clicking?
Yeah, that message caused the AT&T outage.
Yeah, that's explains that, John. Great job. So, but yeah, no, maybe we can do something like that. But bottom line, we'll get this thing put back together. We'll put it on the old tried and true dyno, and we'll bang the gears and let you play with that new controller that you got, and
yes,
you'll be ready for action.
Well, thank you for doing everything that you do for us.
It's my pleasure.
And going over all this stuff with us and taking the time to help us out, because we really appreciate you. No
problem. It's my pleasure. It is an honor to be a part of this program with you guys. You got a cool setup. It's a one of a kind, and I think it's cool that everybody's catching on to it. So, and my wife wanted me to ask you, does this make me YouTube famous now? Well, yeah. Sweet, nice.
You were already famous. You've been on that TV show.
You were on the street when Jerry Burt got arrested.
I was there. I was hiding in the car when the cops came down. Allegedly. Yes. Yeah.
But seriously, we really do appreciate you, and not just the stuff you've done for the Chevette, but I mean, even his Camaro, the transmission's still going strong in that thing. And
yeah, you've done more than just the Camaro transmission for us over the years.
Yeah.
Well, it's my pleasure, and I just want to see you guys go out, compete, have a great time as a husband and wife team. That's pretty rare in today's world. To see you guys doing all of this together. So I commend both of you. You haven't killed each other. That's a plus.
And what's Adam say? 30 square feet or something?
He says like 60 cubic feet or something in the Chevette.
Yeah.
60 cubic feet.
Yeah. So now you had the 350 in there before.
Yep.
Now you're going to have the 4-speed with the lockup. So now the cruising RPM will be probably 2,000 versus 4,000. something like that.
That should be a huge help.
I might be embellishing that number a little bit, but it's still got to be a lot less
Oh,
noisy.
Lord.
The math is going to be pretty close to that.
Yeah.
And then also, the exciting part is, what's first gear in a turbo 350? 278?
Yeah, I think so. 278, and this one's a 306.
So, yeah, we'll have your little bitty baby wheelie maybe a little bit bigger, especially with some of the suspension stuff we've done. So.
Yeah, and I'm sure somebody's going to see this video and say, Wendell, come on, you're a transmission guy. What's first gear in a 350? I don't know. I don't build 350s. I build 4L60Es.
I got you.
So.
Yeah. So.
Thanks again for all that you've done.
Definitely.
Thanks for taking the opportunity to showcase a little bit of the Sonnax stuff, because we just hold it up and say it looks pretty, and this is the thing that does the thing. So.
Well, I'm going to defer that to the great folks at Sonnax, Greg Nader, Beth Howder, Lauren.
Yes.
The the behind the scenes lady who's helped make all this happen.
She definitely has.
And your doppelganger, Krista. But no, it's because of great folks like Sonnax that allows us to do what we do.
Definitely.
And this crazy sport that we love so much. So
it is crazy.
Thank you, Sonnax.
Yep, for sure. Thanks, Sonnax.
And what is it?
And thank you.
Killer 4L60E.
All the parts to build a killer 4L60E. Alright, well, this is going to wrap up this video. We just wanted to give you guys some insight as to what Sonnax has to offer and what is going to go in the transmission in the Chevette and what is in the transmission in the white Camaro.
Yep. And it's been beat on. You can watch some of our videos. Anybody that knows the car knows everything the car's been put through. So
a lot.
It's been put to the test, and the Sonnax stuff has stood up tremendously. So
yes,
check out Sonnax website. You can see what all they have to offer. Not just 4L60 stuff. They got 4L80 stuff. They got Ford stuff, Mopar stuff, and it's not just transmission stuff. They offer a ton of different things. So we've got another order we're fixing to place with them for some other things, drive shaft yoke, things like that.
Yep.
So pretty cool stuff. Check them out. If you have any questions about it, let us know. We can try to point you in the right direction. And some more cool stuff to come with partnerships, maybe, coming soon.
So stick around.